And I actually texted Shedeur because I know him very well. And I said, dude, like whatever happens, wherever you go, like that's your first day. Day 2 matters more than the draft. I was 199.
Yeah.
So who could speak on it better than me? Like what that really means.
You think Shedeur Sanders ever starts a game for the Cleveland Browns? I don't believe he starts a game this year, obviously barring injury, which is the conversation you and I had. And if he doesn't get an opportunity to start a game this year because of injury and show something different than he was able to show this preseason, I don't believe they view him as a franchise builder, a franchise starter.
I know where I kind of want them to go. And let's not forget Shadow, okay? But I know where I want them to go. So there's certain cities that, hey.
Did Tom Brady just expose the real reason the Cleveland Browns don't trust Shedeur Sanders? Because the way this whole thing went down, from his shocking draft slide, to Brady's awkward hesitation, to how the Browns stacked their quarterback room.
And
This doesn't read like a normal rookie story at all. It feels like something much bigger is at play. Shedeur came out of college with more hype than almost any quarterback in the class, a name buzzing all over sports media. But when draft night wrapped up, he wasn't celebrating in the green room. He had tumbled all the way down to the 5th round. When the Browns finally picked him, fans thought, this is it! His shot to prove everybody wrong. Except that's not what happened. Not even close. Instead of fighting for quarterback 2, Shedeur got shoved straight into quarterback 3, sitting behind another rookie, Dillon Gabriel. That alone raised eyebrows. But the Browns weren't done. They brought in Bailey Zapp for the practice squad, sending a loud message that Shedeur wasn't even a priority.
Shamed all of them, including the Cleveland Browns, who finally took him in the 5th round. I'm convinced only because the owner, the publicity-starved owner, just wanted some more shock value publicity. Oh, we took him because he knew what would happen, that the national media would descend on Browns camp, make it a story that might distract the rest of the world from the mess that Jimmy Haslam has made of the Cleveland Browns, especially after he gave $230 million.
That's when the theories started flying. Why did Brady choke up when Shedeur's name came up? Why were NFL execs whispering about Deion Sanders before draft night even ended? And how much of Shedeur's NFL opportunity is really about his talent versus his dad's influence making sure his son didn't get left out of the league? The truth started showing itself inside the Browns quarterback room. Preseason looked simple. Shedeur versus Dillon Gabriel, 2 rookies, 1 backup spot behind Joe Flacco. But the Browns didn't even hesitate. Gabriel locked down quarterback 2, and Shedeur got pushed to quarterback 3 without a fight. Huge red flag. If Cleveland actually believed Shedeur had the star potential his dad keeps selling, why would they crown Gabriel over him so quickly? Then came the preseason finale, where the disrespect went public. Late in the 4th quarter, coach Kevin Stefanski pulled Shedeur and threw in Tyler Huntley for the 2-minute drill. To fans, it looked crystal clear. The Browns weren't even trying to give Shedeur a chance to shine. And if that's how they treat him in meaningless preseason, what do you think will happen when real games are on the line? Which is exactly why Tom Brady's comments about Shedeur hit harder than they looked on the surface. When Brady sat on impulsive and got asked about Shedeur's shocking draft slide, he froze. No quick defense, no he's underrated praise, just hesitation, stuttering, and then the safest answer possible. I wasn't part of the evaluation process. Now come on, this is Tom Brady. We're not talking about some random ex-player here. Brady is a part owner of the Raiders. He's close to Shedeur personally. NFL GMs actually value his input when it comes to quarterbacks. If anyone could have vouched for Shedeur, it was Brady. And the fact that he didn't? That silence was loud. And Brady didn't just stop there, he doubled down. He hit Shedeur with the classic use it as motivation speech. He basically said, day 2 matters more than draft day. I was pick 199, so I know how this feels. On paper, it sounds inspiring, but in reality, it felt more like a warning. Translation: you're not special. Nothing will be handed to you. Earn it or fade out. And the truth is, Brady's actions already showed exactly where he stood. Be glad you even got a jersey. Now prove you belong. That's the energy the league threw at Shedeur, and honestly, his own father might have been the reason he slid so far in the first place. That infamous Dan Patrick interview still haunts everything. Deion didn't hold back. He flat out admitted he wouldn't let Shedeur play for certain teams. He bragged about steering his son to the right destination, like he could strong-arm the NFL before Shedeur had even thrown a single pro pass. And let's be real, the league never forgets. NFL execs hate being told what to do, especially by somebody outside their system. When Deion went public with that talk, insiders say it instantly flipped the narrative. Suddenly, Shedeur wasn't just a quarterback prospect. He was baggage, a player tied up in his dad's politics. Even Skip Bayless pointed out that was the turning point, the exact moment teams backed away. So here's the big question. Why did Cleveland finally pull the trigger after passing on Shedeur 6 different times? That's where the theory comes in, and it's messy. Word is, Deion had to sweeten the deal, maybe with leverage, maybe with favors, maybe even with backroom offers, just to make sure Shedeur got drafted at all. And honestly, it fits Deion's playbook perfectly. Look back at Colorado. Everything ran through him. He controlled transfers, NIL deals, even the media spotlight. His kids always had center stage, no matter what strings he had to pull. So is it really far-fetched to think he tried the same stunt with the NFL? But here's the catch. The league doesn't play like college ball. NFL execs might let you slide something under the table, but in the end, they'll get the last laugh. And the timing couldn't have been worse, because while Shedeur was barely clinging to a roster spot, Deion was already putting out fires with his other son. Shedeur Sanders had just blown his shot in Tampa Bay, cut by the Buccaneers after getting ejected for punching another player in the final preseason game. One reckless move, and his NFL chance evaporated overnight. Deion knew the optics were ugly. At a Colorado press conference, he tried to sound calm, saying he was praying Shiloh would get another chance somewhere else. But the truth? One son's draft drama and another son's implosion made Deion look less like a mastermind and more like a dad scrambling to keep both his boys in the league at any cost. And that's where the pressure really hit hard. One son, possibly out of the league for good, another son sliding down draft boards like a rock. This wasn't just a setback for Deion Sanders. It was a full-blown crisis. For a man who's built his whole public persona on being the flashy, in-control father coach, watching both his boys stumble at the same time cut straight into his brand. And it's not just coaches or execs questioning Shedeur. Fans have been ruthless. This isn't the usual, "Oh, the Browns coach didn't give him a fair chance" talk. A lot of people are flat out saying he never deserved the chance in the first place. One fan laid it out bluntly. The problem is that if anyone watched a Colorado game, he had a sack issue. He holds the ball too long, trying to be a hero instead of making the smart play. That's the knock that's followed him for years. Instead of hitting the safe throw, he waits for the highlight. And in the NFL, that's not exciting, that's reckless. Another fan dug straight into the receipts. I've been saying this since before his draft slide. He went 13-12 at Colorado, even with Travis Hunter. Bro was never an early round pick. And honestly, that one stings. If you can't dominate with one of the most electric two-way players in the country on your squad, why would NFL teams spend a high pick on you? Some fans didn't even bother with stats. They went straight for the jugular. One said, Shedeur should quit football immediately and start a career in politics, basically claiming his hype and popularity are louder than his actual game, but the comment that cut deepest. If his name weren't Sanders, he would have been cut already. And that's the dagger, because it ties right back to the whole bribe theory. Fans see it too. They don't think Shedeur's here because of raw talent. They think he's here because Deion forced the league's hand to keep his kid on a roster. which leaves the NFL in an ugly spot. Now it's not just about Shedeur failing. It's about Deion's whole image crashing down. Execs never wanted to reward Deion for trying to manipulate the process, and they sure weren't about to hand Shedeur special treatment just because of his last name. And here's the part people keep missing. Tom Brady knew it too. That's why his "use it as motivation" line hits so different. It wasn't encouragement, it was a warning. He wasn't trying to lift Shedeur up. He was spelling it out. This league doesn't play favorites. If you don't perform, you vanish. Simple as that.